Hey friends, it's Angie with Forever Young Homestead, and as you can see, we are not in Vermont anymore and obviously not on our homestead. So my family and I are actually staying at an Airbnb down in West Virginia because we had this planned for their winter vacation. We are planning on just visiting with friends, and we are also going to look at some properties while we're in the area. I seem to really like my first video that I posted looking at properties in West Virginia, and I know there's a few of you looking at buying property in West Virginia as well. So I'm going to take you along and we're going to look at some West Virginia properties. Now, mind you, this is with our family and our needs in mind, but I'm going to take you guys along and show you a few properties that we're interested in, and it'll kind of give you guys an idea of, if you're looking to live off-grid, what might suit you in West Virginia. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to my channel. It greatly helps our content and you get to follow us along for this journey. So last week, a house, actually a farm, listed for sale, and my husband sent me the link immediately. Now, we had this trip planned a few months ago because we wanted to come down during winter break. We figured, we could just browse properties. Well, this property came up and we both were like, we want it. It's 88 acres. It's farmland, which is huge. You don't see a lot of farmland for this price in West Virginia. It's not too far from where our friends live. And it has a barn. It does have a house that needs renovations. The septic is complete crap. Has a corn crib, has a pond, and it's fenced in. And we're just like, this is exactly what we want. And for off-grid, you get the southern sky, which you want to have for living off-grid. And there's actually a website, hopefully I can post a link right here, that my husband uses. So if you're looking at living off-grid in West Virginia and you want to see where the sun is and where to place your solar, it's actually a really helpful app. So we contacted this realtor. We're like, hey, can we put in an offer? We are getting ready to sell our house here in Vermont. The contingency would be we would have to sell first, but we would then be a cash offer. The thing about real estate in West Virginia, it is very different than New England. Properties down here can sell so quickly, and other properties down here can be slower. But in New England, I've seen properties sit anywhere from a month, 9 months. That seems typical. Down here, it's like over a weekend. For this property, it's actually priced lower than what it's appraised at, probably because the house is not in the greatest condition. We wanted to put in an offer sight unseen, but the seller said, no, I really want people to look at the property before they even put in an offer. So we figured, okay, we're going to be in the area, a week later from when the house posted. We'll just look at it then. So literally right as we're crossing the border right into West Virginia, we got a text from the realtor that said, hey, a cash offer with no contingencies just came through. I figured, we could save you the travel. We're like, well, we're already in West Virginia. We're coming to visit friends anyways and look at other properties. So why don't we just look at it? And she had already sent us the contract where the seller already signed because he seemed really interested in our offer. But it's how real estate is. And the seller hasn't decided, but most likely he's going to go with this cash offer. And I don't blame him. Cash talks, but maybe if we can explain, hey, we're a family, we homestead, we know how to farm, we want to really renovate this property. You never know. And, you never know unless you ask. So we are still going to look at the property. I'll take you guys along. Hopefully I can get footage of it. And you'll see why we liked it, or like the idea of it, because the acreage is perfect. It's open land, which is very rare, especially in this area. We saw some farmland properties that are like 400, 500,000, and that is out of our price range. For us, we want to clear all of our debts and be able to buy land, house as close to debt-free as possible. I don't think we'll be able to do it 100%, but very close to it. That is our goal. So our budget is not obviously the same value of what our house is going to be selling for. But you never know. You know, and what I've also learned, our friend Nate told us, is that properties, buyers back out, deals fall through, so still put an offer in. He actually had bought a property and he was like second or third in line, and that's how he got it. So just because there's an offer, one offer or a couple offers in, does not mean put it in. And also, it's a human behind every seller, right? You know, sometimes telling them a story. Hey, we have kids, we have livestock, we want to continue farming. I don't know how much weight that's going to hold. I don't know, but that is our story. I'm not making it up, and that's just how we are and who we are. So, you know, my heart kind of sank when we got the text right on the border. We're like, hey, welcome to West Virginia. And we were very excited because we're like, oh my gosh, we could potentially have a place and a seller that was willing to have a contingency, because we really like this property. But I don't know, it sounds like it may not pan out, and that's okay. We kind of went into this, let's at least try, because if we don't try, I think I would be more upset at myself. So yes, so if you're looking to buy property in West Virginia, cash in hand, or if you already have all of your financing lined up, that would be my key. For us, we're kind of in the we're still looking stage. We came down last November 2025, and we looked at a few properties, as you saw in my previous video, just to get an idea of what we like, what we don't like, and we plan on doing that as well. We really wanted to stay in a specific county in West Virginia, but we are starting to look outside of that county, just because of what our budget is, and you never know. You know, we might be able to we've seen some things up in the mountains, higher taxes though in a couple of these areas, but you get a gorgeous mountain view. So there's trade-offs, and you just have to decide what is like your rock bottom. What do you want? What do you plan to do with the land? Those are all things you have to ask yourself. But look at houses in different areas, and that's what we plan on doing. So an update. Tomorrow we were supposed to look at this 88-acre farm, and the realtor had gotten a hold of us and said they're accepting this cash offer because we would have came in with the contingency sale of our house, and we were transparent about that, and the seller does not want to deal with that. He has a cash offer on the table, so we don't blame him. You know, I think if we had a cash offer, we would want to go with that as well. And that property, you can't get a USDA loan or FHA loan. It is the house needs a lot of work, so it wouldn't qualify for typical loans like that. And it's a bummer because this is a property that had everything, just about everything that my husband and I were looking for. It had open farmland that you could hay on. You know, we have goats and we want to get more livestock, so we were looking at the potential, like, yeah, this was very good farmland, and it's close to where our friends live. But at least the realtor called and gave us a courtesy saying, nope, no more showings, which is unfortunate. We have contacted other realtors to look at other properties that they have listings, and it isn't always easy to get a hold of realtors down here, or you call them and they never call you back. So that is a frustrating side. People are friendly down here. That's just our personal experience. I don't know if any of you guys have worked with realtors down in West Virginia. It's not easy. So we have addresses of properties we want to look at. Some of them are land. And we did this last time. We looked at property in West Virginia. We didn't even have a realtor go with us. We just had the address. We knew where the land was, and we looked at land. So I think that's going to be our plan. but it is kind of a bummer. We're looking forward to looking at this property tomorrow, but we'll go on our own adventure, I guess.
Proceed to the route.
I just don't want to get up here and get stuck. So it looks like they started putting in a driveway or an easement, but there's some land there. It's right next to the road. And it is a little squishy, so we didn't want to bring the car all the way up. I think we're going to end up going in reverse down the path, because this, hopefully we won't get stuck, but that's not a guarantee. Looks like they brought in some gravel. I think they had this as a hunting camp, or started to. This is about 40 acres of land, so they started working on it, but they didn't quite finish the driveway. Definitely on a hill. I think they want 140K for 40 acres. I mean, they did start to put in a driveway, but it's all on a hill. So take a look at it. I don't even know what this building is. Some type of building.
Yeah. I wonder if there's another access point to this place. Or you head up and it's flat up there. You want to hike it or not?
Oh gosh, I don't know. You can.
I don't know how you'd ever put in a driveway.
You could. I mean.
Yeah, I'm not gonna waste my time.
You're what?
Or was this a hunt? Because they advertise it like a hunting camp.
Yeah, because see the grain feeder there for.
Sir, come here.
Oh, so it was used. And they have like the camo on the makeshift window.
Yeah.
Just seems, I don't know, it seems a little steep. 140K and it's all uphill.
Well, I mean, unless you get to the top of the mountain. And
it's an equipment.
Yeah.
Storage.
Well, yeah, it's like a hunting camp.
It's not though. There's just wood in there. It has
besides
a bunch of wood.
40 acres?
It has a sign in there. What else is in there today?
Or was this a hunt? Because they advertise it like a hunting camp.
Yeah, because see the grain feeder there for.
Sir, come here.
Oh, so it was used. And they have like the camo on the makeshift window.
Yeah.
Just seems, I don't know, it seems a little steep. 140K and it's all uphill.
Well, I mean, unless you get to the top of the mountain.
So we might go on the West Virginia property viewer. Might come back another day just to scope the rest of this out, but it looks like if you go up this trail here, there is some flat land up there. You definitely can hear traffic noise. The main road is there, so we have, farm animals. We've got our goats, our cats and dogs, so I'm a little worried they might run off into the road. It does sit up. Looks like they've used it as a hunting camp is what the property was or has been used for, and they started putting in a driveway, which I know can be an expense. So, and it's good to see, like, yes, they definitely have quite a bit of mud in the winter. It's not ideal, but it could work. So I think we'll have to scope it out a little more. I just don't like being right on top of a neighbor like that, but I think if there's a possibility to put a house up higher, that could potentially work, or even over here could be a possibility as well. But we figured, you know, we're out here. There was actually another property we were going to look at tomorrow, and that one got a cash offer. So if you're looking to move to West Virginia, like I said, have cash in hand, or you have a mortgage ready to go. And just because you're approved for a mortgage or a land loan, the people with cash in hand will win all the time. That's just how it is. Properties sell extremely fast down here. We are very shocked at how quickly properties will sell. I'm not sure how long this has been on the market, so gotta look into that. Like I said, it's 40 acres, 140K, which seems a little steep for us. But you know, it's just the traffic noise that I don't like. That's just my personal preference, but like I said, maybe if we're higher up, it might be doable. So definitely take another look at it, but just wanted to kind of show you guys for 140K, this is what you would get. You know, obviously we would have to build a homestead of some sort, so it does fall in the general ballpark of our price range once we sell our house. So this is the second property that we looked at, and we actually had a realtor that came and looked at this property with us. It's a 2-bedroom house that was built in the early 1980s. The first thing we noticed was some water damage. Now, they may have fixed the roof since this damage occurred, but it definitely gave us some pause. And where the wood stove goes up, right where the pipe connects to the roof, was a little concerning. Again, I don't know if they had a leak there. So that was definitely something that we noticed right away. It is a 2-bedroom house, 1 bathroom, and a little bit more water damage we noticed there. So there's pros and cons. This house is small. It does have a downstairs, but the downstairs is a basically cinder block foundation. Here's the bathroom. You know, it looks like a fresh coat of paint, and they installed some newer flooring, which was good, but it's cosmetic. There are some things that you can overlook. So the bathroom, you know, just a quick renovation, and I don't think that was too bad. This is one of the bedrooms. It looks like they had recently painted that. This actually is a pretty decent sized bedroom. So it wasn't too bad. This is the master bedroom. I'm not a fan of carpet, but again, that's just cosmetic. That's just my preference. You know, there's small things like not having electrical outlet covers. Yeah, does it present well? Not really, but it's not deterring me from why you wouldn't buy something. Washer and dryer were in the kitchen. The kitchen was relatively small, and you know, it definitely needs some upgrading, but again, it's cosmetic. Oh, and there was a really cool pond in the back that we really liked. But price point, this was at the top of our range. It does come with about 100 acres of land, and there is a neighbor, but they're pretty far away. And it actually had a pretty cool wraparound deck. We did notice some propane tanks. To get to the property, you have to cross over a metal bridge. Also they have a horse on site, so we thought that'd be cool for the goats. But we also viewed this house with a friend that lives in the area, which was super helpful because she could see and identify things that we couldn't see at all. So we were glad to actually look at an actual property with a realtor this time. which isn't always the case when I call realtors in West Virginia. So we were very pleased with this realtor.
Just heaved.
But I like snakes.
From that?
Yeah.
That's the same water tank you have. That little one.
Oh, the pressure tank. Yeah.
What do you think this
That's
is?
the hot water heater.
And it looks like, yeah, they put in a little garage thing.
Yeah.
It looks like they started with it.
Yep.
And there's even a, you know,
Yeah.
they might have tried to put a stove or something.
Yeah. Something down here. No, you could, I mean, you do it by hand, but you could put in a cement floor down here and then make another bedroom, another room down here.
So,
Do you know if it floods?
I didn't see anything in the flood maps, but
Yeah.
I would say the creek does.
so this property we looked at, it was actually on the market when we last came to West Virginia in November 2025, and we figured we're in the area, might as well look at it. It was at the top of our price range, so we would have zero funds to renovate or do anything. It does come with 100 acres of land. However, there's a little stream there. Those boards were not in the best shape, but it did have a nice little stream to it. The house is in very poor condition. It would need to be fully gutted. The leveling of the floor, if when you look in the windows, it's just the floor is not in great shape. There is a building across the road that comes with this property that is in much better shape than the main house. What we didn't like with this property is it sits on a main road, and that road is busy. And we do have pets, we have dogs, we have cats, so that would be a concern for us. But we did walk the property because we thought, okay, if it has 100 acres, is there potential to build another house on this property? And unfortunately, a lot of the land is basically very narrow strip right here. All the other land just goes straight up a hill. So it was good for us to walk the land, get an idea of what it looks like. I know some people buy land sight unseen, but that's just not for us because we would be moving our entire family. So I'm glad we looked at it, but we quickly narrowed this one out. This was another property we looked at. It was for $109,000, comes with 40 acres, but the road to get there was a little sketchy and there wasn't a lot of usable flat land with this property, which was unfortunate. Yep.
Probably need to go home to that other ridge line over there.
This is another property, about 40 acres, 109,000, and yes, that comes with it, but I guess that's bonus. But most of the land is over the hill. Guess you can get electric here.
I see road over there.
You have to clear a lot of trees, but
Well, it's not flat. Well, as you can see, we are back in Vermont, and we definitely have snow here. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at those properties in West Virginia. I really wish we could have seen more properties, but the real estate market down there, things sell very quickly. We at least got to walk some more land. And the important part was our kids getting to see what the land is like, what the towns are like, and frankly, what the community is like. I think that was really important for us because we liked West Virginia. I wanted to make sure my kids liked it. And yes, it is definitely more populated than Vermont, but when you get out in the rural areas where we want to live, it's very similar to our life in Vermont, just with less snow. I think all our animals are happy that we are back. And yes, if we move to West Virginia, the goats, the cats, dogs, they're all going with us, right? The only thing I may negotiate is our chickens. Whoever buys this homestead, you know, if they want chickens, I can negotiate that with them. So my husband and I just have a few more projects. We've got to get some painting done, and we got to repair some tile down by the wood stove. So we'll work on those last minute things. We're actually going to buy a shipping container. We'll put it somewhere on the homestead, and we are not going to rent a shipping container, because what we intend on doing is using that shipping container, yes, to move, but it can be a temporary solution to store our stuff while we stage our house, for showings, for photographs, things like that. And then instead of renting like a U-Haul, we can just hire a trucking company. My husband works in logistics, so we'll probably hire a company, move that shipping container down to West Virginia when we move, and then we can either keep it if we're going to be building or doing renovations, because that can be a temporary area to store things, tools or whatnot, or we may just sell it if we don't have a use for it. So a couple of different possibilities there, and we're going to keep on going. We've been on this journey since September 2025. It's almost March 2026, and yes, it's a slow process. We have winter to contend with. I will tell you, West Virginia winters are absolutely, I will trade Vermont winters for West Virginia, because there was no snow, and when it was snowing, it was a couple of snowflakes. And yes, it's kind of a cold winter for them, but I've dealt with snow for over 40 years of my life. I'm okay with being done with it. So that is a perk of moving to West Virginia. It is literally like springtime down there. I didn't have to wear my winter jacket. I just had a light hoodie on, and yeah, it was great. Thank you for following along. Enzo wants to say hi. He's wondering why I don't have cheese puffs for him. I have to go buy him some. Right, Enzo? Get you cheese puffs? Yeah. So I just want to thank you guys for following along, subscribing. I know if you are looking at moving to West Virginia, you might be in New England like myself. So I didn't want to sugarcoat this journey. I figured if it helps one person, then documenting this was definitely worth it for me. And I know I'm not alone in this. So it was a great trip. We got to visit with our friends at Narrowway Homestead. Got to have some good conversations, and it was great because my kids got involved with like a puzzle night at the local library. So we got to do things even within the community down in West Virginia, which my kids really liked, and I liked it too. So I don't have a lot of that up here in Vermont, so I am excited for that, for myself, for the kids. Obviously it's more populated down there, so they can do more activities like that, but that's what we're looking for. So stay tuned. I'll see you guys in the next video, and when we go back to West Virginia again, I'll take you guys along.